और आप सभी जानते हैं कि हमारा टॉपिक चल रहा है रिप्रोडक्शन इन ऑर्गेनिजम्स, दैट इज द चैप्टर 1 ऑफ क्लास 12th बायोलॉजी। प्रीवियस वीडियो में हमने देखा कि व्हाट इज एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन, इन विच ओनली द वन पेरेंट इज इन्वॉल्व, देयर इज नो गैमेट फॉर्मेशन। द अदर नेम ऑफ एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इज somatogenesis, agamogenesis. So these are the things that we discussed, and there is no evolution because there is lack of variation in the asexual reproduction. So all these things we discussed very clearly. Now we will move on to the next topic, that is the types of asexual reproduction, in which the first topic is fission. Now fission is of two types, that is a binary fission and the multiple fission. Okay, now first of all we will discuss the binary fission, and then next we will discuss the multiple fission, in which the sporulation, the encystation, pseudospores are formed, and many things are there in that. Okay, but first let's focus on binary fission. Now binary fission is what, in this two daughter organisms are formed from a single parent. So basically if this is a parent, okay, so two daughter organisms are formed from a single parent. So this is the parent and this is the daughter. So what binary fission is, like these are the daughters, and then from the daughters two more are formed, and then from this daughter two more are formed. So this is the process that goes on, and this is called binary fission. Okay, now binary fission is of four types. Okay, so first one is simple or irregular binary fission. Second one is transverse binary fission. Third is longitudinal binary fission, and fourth is oblique binary fission. So these are very important for you to learn, because in the lower classes we only knew that binary fission is the production of daughters from the parents, but as we move into higher classes we have to get a step ahead. Okay, and we have to learn these four types of binary fission: simple, transverse, longitudinal and oblique. Now simple binary fission is organism can divide in any plane. Okay, for example amoeba. So this is a structure of an amoeba, and you can see that the organism can divide in any plane. Okay, so all the planes you can divide the organism in any planes. So this is called simple binary fission. Now what is transverse binary fission? The plane of division passes along the transverse axis of organism. Now what is the transverse axis of organism? You can see here, this is the transverse axis of organism. So the example of transverse binary fission is diatoms, bacteria, paramecium and planaria. So paramecium is a ciliate, it is a protozoan. Okay, and protozoan में category होती है ciliates की, in which cilia is present all over the body. So paramecium, which is a ciliate, then planaria. Planaria is a part of the animal kingdom, in which it is belong to the category Platyhelminthes. Okay, so these are Platyhelminthes, helminthes like worms. So planaria and paramecium. So what happens in transverse binary fission? You can see this diagram. So we all know that the body of planaria is somewhat like this. So if you imagine a planaria like this, so it divides in a transverse axis. Okay. Now let's come to longitudinal binary fission. In the longitudinal binary fission, the plane of division passes along the longitudinal axis of organism. Now to understand this better, you can see this diagram. See this diagram in this vertical. This is the vertical axis, which is the longitudinal binary fission, and in the transverse this is horizontal line. So the example of longitudinal binary fission is flagellates. So there is one more category of protozoans, that is flagellates, in which euglena is the example. Euglena is a connecting link between plants and animals, and you must have studied this in 11th standard. I'm very sure that these flagellates, these paramecium, planaria, all this we studied in the animal kingdom. Now oblique binary fission is plane of division is oblique. Okay, now dinoflagellates is the example, in which goniolox and the serraceum, we studied in 11th standard that red tide is caused by goniolox. Okay, and this is a dinoflagellate. These both are dinoflagellates. So oblique binary fission का example है dinoflagellates. Now you may find it difficult. What you may find it difficult in this is the examples, but this is very important. If you will remember these diagrams, it will be very easy for you to remember all of these things. So I hope you got my point, that binary fission is when two daughter organisms are formed from a single parent, okay? And these are of four types: simple binary fission, transverse binary fission, longitudinal binary fission, and oblique binary fission. So we are done with the binary fission. Next we will discuss the multiple fission, okay? So yes, till then आप सब इसको नोट कर लीजिए और इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए सब.